Dude, oh my god, dude.
Oh my... This can't be real.
I need to sit down.
This can't...
Pam, we need to take this to the grave. We cannot tell anybody. This changes literally this changes everything.
Nah, I know. We can never tell
I
anyone.
might actually puke. Get back a little. I'm gonna puke. Stay back.
Oh my...
I'm gonna throw up.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw up.
The earth is flat, Charlie.
I know.
After the moderate success of my follower mod video, a viewer suggested I do the same for quest mods, which saves me thinking of an idea. Now, as I care a lot about lore, and have a heavily modded Skyrim because, I mean, look at it. I can't even remember what vanilla Skyrim is meant to look like. Anyway, I figured I'd stick to a winning formula, and pick 5 lore accurate quest mods that I highly recommend. Am I going to be missing out some big names? Yes, because I'm only picking out 5. Well, more than 5, but we'll get into that later in the list. For now, let's start with my number 5 pick that will help you get over your Ocarina of Time induced water level anxiety. Sirenroot. Now I get it. It's hard to make a good water dungeon, but Sirenroot is probably one of the best dungeon quest mods, full stop. It brings genuinely good puzzles to Skyrim, putting you in an ancient Aelid dungeon in the depths of Lake Hornrich, in the Rift. It begins rather inconspicuously, with you agreeing to basically do some flower picking, but after a cave-in, it turns into a good old-fashioned ghost story, where you and 4 other mercenaries attempt to escape before it's too late. While the general idea isn't the most groundbreaking, it's the level of execution that makes Sirenroot so special. A simple idea well executed is still better than a complicated idea poorly executed. Still, Sirenroot has its complexities. For one, it rewards or punishes you based on how much attention you pay, particularly to its custom voice NPCs that have a lot of character. I won't get into them too much in case of spoilers, and would have liked more time with these guys, but the mod is only 1 dungeon, so it's pretty quick and clean. What we do have with these characters is solid, although the star of the show is the puzzles and the setting. First of all, just look at it. It's a gorgeous mod with such a strong atmosphere that is helped by an incredible original soundtrack worked on by the mod author, Ria Everglade, and the absolute SoundCloud legend, Young Scrolls. Here's a quick snippet, and note that you can listen to the OST on YouTube. Now this would all be for naught if the main draw, the puzzles, sucked, but luckily for all of us, they don't. Sirenroot's puzzles actually require brain function, unlike the slop we have in the vanilla game. More than that, they're really creative, using water in an interesting way to really make you think, and it reminds me of old school Tomb Raider in the best way possible. It feels a little more Oblivion than Skyrim with the Aelid setting, but a ghost story in an ancient ruin that's relatively low stakes, because it's just about surviving, fits into the lore neatly. In fact, everything about this mod is neat, well executed and worth checking out if you don't mind having a dip in the deep end. But I get it, water dungeons aren't for everyone, but if you still want that creeping horror-esque atmosphere, might I recommend a classic in the modding scene, Clockwork. Clockwork takes you to the Velothi Mountains, the range between Skyrim and Morrowind, and puts you through a terrifying sequence before you plop out into a mysterious castle with technology beyond its years. As the name implies, the mod has a heavy clockwork and steampunk aesthetic, keeping in line with the Dwemer technology seen throughout many ruins. Now, if you know your lore, this makes sense, since the Velothi Mountains were known to be home to many a Dwemer ruin. Although there is something odd about Clockwork Castle. You feel like you're being watched, with a ghost trailing your every move. More than that, you're a welcome guest in the castle, manned by 2 Dwemer automatons, but there's something off about this place. There's this overbearing and uneasy atmosphere that makes you feel like you're never safe in an almost existential way, yet you're trapped, unable to find a way home. While this mod doesn't do anything massively creative on the gameplay end, it is an older mod, and finds itself largely carried by this uneasy atmosphere, like there's something bigger going on and that you were never meant to find. Without spoiling anything, this is what makes the mod such a classic. Although there are two other things to note. One, there's a large dungeon section that is known to be quite unstable and crashes a fair amount. Two, the mod gets away with a lot lore-wise, because the Dwemer were practically capable of anything. It does expand the lore on the Dwemer in a way that makes sense, especially because we don't really know too much about the Dwemer in general. So if you want to experience a classic, and don't mind pissing your pants a little, you need not look much further than Clockwork. Now, I might be cheating with this one, since it technically comes under the category of the New Lands mods, but it basically revolves around one main quest, so it counts in my mind. It's my list anyway, and I think you'll like this one enough to cut me some slack, since we're talking about Wyrmstooth. Yes, while there's plenty to do in this new island, I'm only really going to be focusing on the main quest here. I want to point out that this thing has an IMDb. Check that out, that is professional. Alright, let's actually talk about the mod itself, since most quest mods will take you to some strange place that doesn't have much of a bearing on who you are. But Wyrmstooth is all about the Dragonborn doing some dragon hunting. You see a dragon issues you a challenge and terrorises the island nation of Wyrmstooth, an imperial colony in the Sea of Ghosts. Now the Sea of Ghosts is known to have many little islands, including Roskria, Bleak Rock Isle, and of course Solstheim. So adding Wyrmstooth as an imperial colony, since it's north of Solitude, makes a lot of sense. It also makes sense to hire the Dragonborn, as pretty much the only person who can keep a dragon down for good. But you won't be alone. You get enlisted alongside a band of mercenaries to deal with this overgrown lizard with, interesting personalities. Everyone's custom voiced too, and if I didn't have any prior knowledge about Wyrmstooth, I would have assumed it was Skyrim's 4th DLC. It fits the tone and storytelling of vanilla Skyrim well, and while I consider everything on this list great, Wyrmstooth is the best for a vanilla plus playthrough if players don't want to go out of their comfort zone. It's more Bethesda style Skyrim at a professional level of execution, and I mean that in a good way. It's well worth checking out. While Wyrmstooth was professional enough to be Skyrim DLC, the next mod is award winning, and did so well that it became its own game, the Forgotten City. The Forgotten City is the first mod in history to win a National Writers Guild award for its script, where the Dragonborn finds themselves in an isolated, forgotten city, where they have to put on their elephant hunting hat and do a Sherlock Holmes, by doing a little bit of investigating. Still, this isn't the most unique premise ever. So how did the Forgotten City become award-winning? I mean, just look at all these plaudits. Well, that will be because of its unique time loop system. I'm not going to expound on it too much, because the Forgotten City and its stellar script should really be experienced without spoilers. It's a one-of-a-kind project, not just a mod. And the time loop mechanic requires a unique level of problem solving that I've yet to find in pretty much anything else. To make it all lore-friendly, it abuses the Dwemer's ability to basically do whatever they want, while still maintaining an aesthetic that fits into vanilla Skyrim. Again, if you want to do something really out there with your mod, and want to keep it lore-friendly, just look at the Dwemer or the Daedra, they'll pretty much let you do anything between the two of them. Then again, if you want the non-lore-friendly version, the team behind the Forgotten City made it into a game of the same name that you can buy on Steam, which was made in Unreal Engine 4. As you can see, it's very well reviewed, replacing the Cyrodiilic Empire elements with an ancient Roman setting. Now, I've only played the mod, not the full game, and if you want to keep it in Skyrim, the Forgotten City is a one-of-a-kind project that deserves a place in your load order. Now, before we get into my last pick, I want to quickfire some smaller lore-friendly mods that don't have the scale to make a list like this, but are neat little additions to a mod list that deserves some love. Demon of Dream is my first honourable mention, a mod that lets you enter the dreams of 3 ex-cultists of Vermina, the Daedric Prince of Nightmares. It's dark, gothic and horror themed, well worth a look. Then there's Bellafor's Sister, a bit of a gag mod that lets you find Bellafor's sister after she's been continually sold, and you have to pick up on her trail to bring her home. It's worth a laugh, I guess. Then there's the last of my honourable mentions, Mysteries of the Dwemer, where an NPC pops up at Dwemer Ruins to explain the convoluted lore of the dwarves. If you're a lore nut like me, this is the mod for you. Okay, now for number 1, which, I'm going to be honest with you, is a complete cheat from me, because I'm going with basically anything by the legendary Vicn, this guy, who created Vigilant, Unslad, Glenmoral, and Dakota.
Don't miss.
No, he's good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
I do want to know that as of recording, I've only played Vigilant and Unslad, with Dakota next on my list, so I'm mainly going to go over those two. Now, while it's true that these mods tend to be very Dark Souls inspired, Elder Scrolls lore is still explored in very interesting ways. You see, the further back you go in the Elder Scrolls timeline, the more up for interpretation it becomes, and these interpretations can get really imaginative. They're not wrong though, and make for some incredible visuals. I mean, just take a look at this. These mods also show off their Dark Souls inspiration through their stellar boss fights, while giving you a look at the somewhat mythological side of Elder Scrolls lore, and have some thought-provoking storytelling, although it's not always overt, so you're gonna have to wrap your head around some really strange sections. Still, Vigilant in particular is a legendary mod, pitting you against the machinations of Molag Bal after joining the Vigilance of Stendarr. Plenty of follow mods, like the ones I've mentioned in this video, check it out, interact with Vigilant, and it's probably the best entry point into Vicn's work. The mind behind these mods paints the world of Elder Scrolls in a mythical, dark and tragic yet beautiful way. That, I feel, is a must try. To my knowledge, Glenmoral is still in the works, and with the Bloodborne influence there is probably not as lore friendly, while Dakota seems to bring back the Numidium. Again, I haven't played either of those, so I don't know how lore accurate they are, but Vigilant and Unslad provide some profound explorations of the Merithic and First eras of Tamriel's history. The mod author even puts out a list of where he gets the lore from, mainly from in-game books. So if you like good things, I implore you to check these mods out. So there are my 5-ish picks for lore accurate quest mods you have to try. Doomseer, I hope you see this and enjoy. And I hope the rest of you get something from this. There are of course more mods that are worth mentioning, like Moonpath to Elsewhere, Heart of the Reach and so on, but I don't have a lot of experience with them. I also try to give you guys variety in the mods here, so that each of them offer a little something different. But either way, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and maybe I'll see you next time.
And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Wyrmstooth, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight's bound hunter. And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Wyrmstooth, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight star.